This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
Gavin's paratroopers spearheaded the invasion. All 3,400 of them had loaded onto 226 C-47 transports at sundown and taken off at 8:30 p.m., July 9, bound for the island of Malta, where they were to turn north for the run to Sicily. But the pilots could not find Malta in the misty clouds and were forced to fly blind for part of their journey. Some of the pilots gave up on trying to find Sicily and returned their planes to base with full loads. The planes that did make it encountered enemy ground fire. In the confusion, they dropped their paratroopers wherever possible, widely dispersing them along the southern coast. Once on the ground, the paratroopers gathered themselves up, searched for comrades, and headed for bridges, high ground, or anywhere they heard gunfire. Patton stayed up that night on the Monrovia, sitting at a small table in his underwear, reading the Bible by flashlight. At 3:30 a.m., General Wiedemeyer, in full battle gear, knocked on his door. He bid farewell to Patton and thanked him for his hospitality as he prepared to depart with the first assault wave. Patton teared up and told him he appreciated his help. He shook Wiedemeyer's hand and told him to be very careful. "If anything happens to you," Patton said, "General Marshall will give me hell." With that, Patton went to bed for a few hours. The planes flying over the Monrovia on July 10 did not wake Patton, but a broken davit banging against the ship did. He donned a khaki uniform and leather bomber jacket and made his way to the bridge. The shoreline burned brightly as landing boats churned into the darkness. Searchlights in the distance pierced the night sky as mortars and rockets smashed into targets. Sicily and uncertainty lay ahead. "We may feel anxious," Patton reasoned, "but I trust the Italians are scared to death." Just as in Operation Torch, Patton would be virtually powerless until his troops made it ashore and his officers set up communications with the flagship. It would again be Hewitt's war until Patton stepped foot on Gela Beach. The Luftwaffe bombed the fleet around 5 a.m., sinking the destroyer USS Maddox. American fighter planes soon arrived and tangled with the enemy. Despite difficulties caused by the weather and a shifting sandbar off the beach, the 1st and 45th Infantry Divisions landed and captured their objectives before sunrise. The 3rd Infantry following soon thereafter. Navy destroyers sailed to within a mile of the beaches, firing on enemy targets. Army Rangers overcame enemy machine gun nests and pillboxes in Gela so quickly that they ran into Navy covering fire. At 6 a.m., Lieutenant Colonel William O. Darby radioed Patton that Gela had been taken. 3 hours later, Patton heard over the radio that 30 enemy tanks were attacking Allen's 1st Infantry. The paratroopers had failed to capture the Piano Lupo Heights, allowing the Germans a route of attack. The Navy cruiser USS Boise shelled the enemy lines. Patton also wanted fighter planes to strafe the area, but they were not yet over the battlefield. Throughout the day, Navy anti-aircraft gunners fired wildly into the air at both friend and foe. By the afternoon, Patton ordered Gaffey to land most of his 2nd Armored Division at Gela and await further orders. He postponed a 2nd Airborne drop, scheduled for later that day, to the following night, so that he could focus on getting his armor ashore.